Back to finishing up functions. Let's go ahead with stack. In order to cut spending, it has been decided to change the queuing system at public offices so that fewer people will go. Instead of first come, first served, we are implementing a last come, first served policy. Think of it like a stack of numbered slips, where the citizens either put a slip on top, called push, or the bureaucrats take one off the top of the stack, called pop. We want you to implement this new system. Each tick, the inputs will either signal push or pop. If it is push, store the value on top of the stack. When it is pop, remove that value from the stack and output it. The output has an enable pin. Enable it only on pop. Okay, so maybe we're just going to do this with a bunch of registers that are hooked up to each other. I was thinking about doing it with RAM, but I think setting that up would probably be too hard. So let's just do a bunch of registers. All right, so this should work at least to save 6 values, right? It'll just save down the line here. And now we need to set it up so that when this is enabled, it'll pull. So I think this might work. It's just a series of registers that kind of saves in a row like this, and then should also load back out like this. Let's find out. I've got a short circuit here. Oh, this value needs to switch to. Okay, I think that's working again. Let's try. Oh, okay, the switch isn't getting enabled, so it's not saving past a certain point. That is easily fixed by doing that. Let's try again. Okay, I think I need another register here, which is the problem. It shouldn't be too much work. Okay, so I've hooked up 3 more registers. I think that'll be enough. I hope that'll be enough. Let's just try it. All right, your circuit has been saved to the component factory. Yeah, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It would be way better to use like a RAM for this because it would give you much more storage. But just kind of loading it in this series of registers seems to work just fine. Push and pop. In this level, you were supposed to add the stack to your computer and write the program that solves the level. When the input is 0, you should pop a value off the stack and output it. When the output is 0, you should push it on the stack. Okay, do we need to add this to the computer to actually pass? Let me get the stack here. Okay, so I have something really, really simple here where I'm just checking a quality. This in first input, it's nothing. So if it's equal to 0, then it will pop. Otherwise, it'll push. So let's see if this works. Okay, well, we didn't really build a computer. We didn't add this to our computer. Maybe we should. Yeah, I guess we passed it. Functions. Sometimes it is useful to reuse a section of code. We call these sections functions. To implement this reuse, one can jump to the beginning of the function and jump back again to the end of the function. We call this jumping to the function, calling the function, and jumping back from the function, returning from the function. But for this section of code to actually be reusable, the return jump will have to be able to return to different locations, depending on where we called the function from. We could save the counter value to a register before jumping to the function and use this value when returning. However, if done this way, a function would not be able to call another function, since this would overwrite the original return address. In this level, you are tasked with implementing function calls and returns with the call and return instructions. Note that when returning from a function, you should jump to the address that came after the call instruction. You can pass information to and from a function by saving the data into registers as normal, Also be aware of which register a function will overwrite before calling it. Budget cuts have led to cutting salaries, but now the lab assistants are on strike. You will have to self-assess in this test. This will tell us something about your honesty and maturity. Okay, so I don't even have to, oh, you just have to click level is complete. Is that it? No? Oh, okay, I completed that. I'm guessing I'm gonna actually want to add functions before going into these assembly challenges though. So let me actually get to adding this functionality for real into the leg architecture, although I'll have to add memory first, probably is a good idea. So let me do a little rebuilding of this first. Okay, after a lot of debugging, I think this is finally working. We're going to stop and just speed it up. Okay, successfully added a memory block, a RAM block into the leg architecture. It really took a lot more debugging than I would have liked. So the way I have it set up here, I really like. It's basically hooked up just like another register would be hooked up. The only difference is that the address is going to be whatever is stored in register 0. Otherwise, you can read from it, you can write from it, you can do addition and subtraction, whatever you want with the values in RAM. Should come in useful. Okay, now functions. I have to implement 2 new instructions. And along with my jump commands, it looks like I have 2 free and slots for instructions that I can easily add something to. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I think this one is going to be call, and this one is going to be return. So I'm going to need to put my stack in here somewhere. Maybe over here. So all call is going to do is it's going to push whatever the current value of our counter is onto the stack. Okay, so I think I have call working where it will, when it runs, it'll put the value in argument 1 into the program counter, and then it'll also add the current instruction plus 4 to the stack, because it will actually add the next instruction to the stack. So now I need to get return working, and I already have return outputting from the stack, taking the value off the top. I just need to get it into the counter. Okay, so I think this works. So I had this, so this function down here, just called my function, and all it does is it returns. So you call it right here. It adds 1 to register 0, and then it will return just based on the flow of the program. So you just should have essentially like a counter. You should just keep adding 1 to register 0. So let's try that out. There we go. Just keeps adding 1 to register 0. And with that, we have our stack added into the leg architecture for real. So awesome. And next time, I think we'll do assembly challenges. We'll keep this video a little bit shorter and kind of mentally gear up for the final set of challenges in this game. See you then.